They
Yes.
throw around the term woke now, right?
Sure.
Like it's overused. It's overused.
Okay.
And me and you guys like us, like we appreciate good comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to throw in an Asian joke, I don't. As long as if it's good, then I'm all for it. Like.
We are here at the Indy PopCon with the wonderful Ming Chen, amazing dude.
What's
I have
up,
a couple
everybody?
Questions for you.
Okay,
Thank
fire
you for
away.
being here.
Fire
All right,
away.
So, first of all, how are you
Okay.
feeling today?
I feel great, not hungover. I did. Yeah, I had a couple drinks last night,
Very
but
good, very good.
you know what?
Good
I am
celebration?
my belly is full of St. Elmo's steak and shrimp
yes.
cocktail. Let me tell you a quick story, if I may.
Sure, absolutely.
I ordered the shrimp cocktail, and you have the option of getting 3 shrimp or 5. And I ordered the 5
Of course you do.
because
You
I
go-
love
always
the
go with
shrimp
5.
cocktail.
Yeah, so-
And the only reason I'm here is the shrimp cocktail.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not kidding.
yeah. It's an Indiana legend.
Yeah,
Right?
and
It's
they
one of
brought the
those
shrimp
things.
cocktail, and they're like, "You ordered 4, right?" I'm like, "No, I ordered 5." And they're like, they checked the things, like, "Oh yeah, you did." So they gave me the 4-piece. They gave me another 5-piece on top of it. So I had
Yes.
9 St. Elmo's shrimp
Score.
off the bat.
Right.
Like if that's not luck and like awesomeness
Exactly.
and Indianapolis hospitality.
That's right.
I felt like Peyton
Serendipity.
Manning, dude. I felt like Peyton Manning. Like,
A-list
yeah.
celebrity right here.
Yeah, like
So,
I felt like I won the Super Bowl. So so I'm doing very well to answer your
Very
question.
cool. Very cool. So I'm going to start with the hard question.
Okay.
All right. So, what is a question you've never been asked, but somebody wished you would ask?
That's a good question. That's one that you really have to dig deep.
Right.
And yeah.
That's kind of why I not to
you
pat
know,
myself on the back.
Yeah, I think people, no one ever asks like, what's your guilty pleasure that often. Like sometimes it comes up, things like that.
Okay.
What do you like better? What's your favorite Faygo flavor? I wish I got that. Because
Okay.
I can't get Faygo in New Jersey where I live.
Oh.
But they have it here. They have it in Michigan, Ohio.
Okay,
And
right.
so
right.
for the right, I'm a rock and rye guy, like bar none.
Very cool.
Nothing like
Very cool.
after a hard day at work, like cracking open a cold Faygo rock and rye.
Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. And my guilty pleasure, drag. I like drag shows.
Oh,
I don't
that's
think
great.
that's something people like. You're
No,
into that,
that's,
but I think some of these drag performers out women, and I think it's awesome. Yeah, for sure. So it's something my friend Lainey got me into. She's really into it.
No, that's
so,
very cool. That's
yeah.
very cool. It's a wonderful institution. Unfortunately, politically, it's come under fire lately.
Oh, sure.
Which I'm 100% support.
Oh, you want
drag
to hear?
shows.
Do you want to hear a good they
Yes.
throw around the term woke now, right?
Sure.
Like it's overused. It's overused.
Okay.
And me and you guys like us, like we appreciate good comedy. Like if you want to throw in an Asian joke, I don't. As long as if it's good, then I'm all for it. Like if it's bad or if you're just or if you're doing it to offend, then of course I don't like it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you're joking
There's
around.
lines.
And,
Yeah.
and it's good So I met a guy. He got in trouble for calling him at work. His HR called him in to talk to him because he called himself fat. He made fun of himself, and he got in trouble for it. He called himself fat, and he got called into HR. Was like, hey, you can't say that. You can't. That's offensive. He's like, I can't make fun of myself. They're like, no. And so he flipped it on. He's like, all right. I apologize for making fun of myself. It'll never happen again. I feel very bad. And then he turned around. He's like, I accept your apology. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever.
That's
ever
how
heard,
bad it's gotten.
Ever heard.
That's how bad it's gotten.
Oh my God.
I mean, literally, there's one thing I wish we could bring back from the '90s. Comedy, like just comedy. Yeah,
that kind of comedy, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
So it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, no, I got
it's getting out of hand.
I got you.
Yeah.
What is something you can't stand but most people love?
Oh man, Kraft macaroni and cheese in the box.
Okay.
Yeah, you ever made that?
Yeah.
Maybe you like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's So the process that you boil the noodles, I think you put this orange powder and you mix it in there and it turns into cheese. That's a crime against Listen, I'm not a gourmet. Like I don't need. Listen, I love St. Elmo, but I'll eat at McDonald's too, right?
Sure.
Sometimes you're
you're
drunk and you want Taco Bell, and that's not even meat. But like that, just I can't. I'll do it if I'm hungry enough, but I prefer not to. Like the orange dust that turns into cheese.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
maybe I would think of cheese American cheese I think is an abomination too. Like I'll eat on a cheeseburger, Like if you're a working man's friend and like that's a good cheeseburger. Yeah. But like but you have like a good sharp cheddar or like like a Gouda
Absolutely.
or Humboldt Fog. And
Gouda.
I'm getting real deep now into cheese.
No,
But then like the American cheese isn't even.
Let's have a cheese plate next time we come.
Right. So. But you never see a Kraft single on a charcuterie board, right?
Right. You don't.
Unless you're like a redneck charcuterie board with like goldfish and like Kraft singles, and I got fruit roll-ups maybe you would put on there and.
Yes.
Yeah, but.
Oh man. Well,
maybe some Chex Mix. I don't know, like the redneck charcuterie. We should start that. The redneck charcuterie board.
Chex Mix charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's coming soon to the Filmographic Memory podcast. So
yeah,
absolutely.
But those are two things people really like, and I'm like, if those two things disappeared, I wouldn't cry about it.
Right. Actually, I share the unpopular opinion of American cheese. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
It's
all chemicals.
So. Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Is there any dairy in there? I'm not really sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Great question.
Anyway, not a chef. So
these are like hard hitting, man. these are like Barbara Walters on steroids level.
This is Barbara Walters.
Yes.
This is 2020.
This is 2020.
So, you are an alum of the University of Michigan.
Yes, I am.
Go Blue.
Yes, go Blue.
And you were there during the Fab Five.
Yes,
era.
I was.
Did you ever get to see any of those games?
I did. I went. I think my freshman or sophomore year, I bought a season ticket plan.
Oh.
And I went to almost all those games.
Oh, yes.
Over at Chrysler Arena, and it was awesome.
Super jealous.
It was awesome. Yeah, all five of those guys were they're superstars, and
absolutely.
And they went to the championship that year.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't blame Chris Webber for what he did. They weren't even supposed to be there, dude. To quote Kevin Smith,
right.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
They weren't even supposed to be there, and I don't fault him. A coach should have reminded him that's what their job is to do. And in the heat of the moment, and he was about to step out of bounds or whatever, or get fouled or whatever. Yeah, he needed a second.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So.
Yes, of course. For those who don't know, the infamous timeout. When they didn't have any timeouts remaining.
Technical foul,
okay.
and then the other team got a couple free throws in the possession back, and they ended up losing the game. But they seriously were not supposed to be there. So I don't blame them for that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It just brings back so many memories for me.
That was a great era. I don't know if we'll ever see that again, like that kind of recruiting and that
that kind of class of freshmen.
Yeah, maybe you'll get one or two guys, but a whole like five? No way, man.
Right.
No way.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, and who knows how many recruiting violations they committed, but we don't talk about that.
Let's not talk about that at all. So, I read a recent article from Engadget. They reported that Night Dive Studios, they have done a remastering of some old games.
Okay.
They recently announced plans to remaster Star Wars Dark Forces.
Okay.
For the current generation consoles. Is that your favorite Star Wars game, or do you have a different one?
Oh, dude, no. Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay.
Is by far, in my opinion, the best Star Wars game ever made. So, as Star Wars geeks, your ultimate dream is to be thrust into the action.
Sure.
Like, you want to run around Hoth without actually having to run on Hoth. You want to run around the Death Star or Star Destroyer or Endor.
Yes.
And that, the first one was awesome, but the second one's amazing. And I remember when those came out, I was spending hours just, playing, I think you do like 30 versus 30 on there.
Oh, yeah.
And just,
massive multiplayer.
and just going over there and just shooting stormtroopers or the rebels, whatever.
Whatever side you pick, I guess.
Yeah, and this was, PlayStation 2. It's pretty early, but they did a great job, man. And, as a Star Wars nerd, I just wanted to get thrust in the action, throw thermal detonators at people.
Exactly.
Like all of that, man. So, I mean, there are a lot of great Star Wars games out there, but the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game was particularly awesome, I thought.
Wow.
The Battle Pod's pretty cool. And
that Battle Pod, I had an opportunity to get into one of those at one point. And that is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's so immersive. You literally feel like you're flying the ship.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and even Mango Whale's cool. The original Star Wars arcade one, the Vector one.
Oh yeah,
that one's pretty good too. It's a trench battle, and I mean, it's old, but it's really good. I believe there's a couple new Star Wars pinball machines out right now too.
Oh, very
that
cool.
are really, really awesome.
All right.
Shout out to Stern Pinball, I believe, who's made a massive resurgence.
Oh,
but
very cool.
yeah, I gotta go to Battlefront 2, man. So
All right,
good.
That's awesome.
I hope they do more. I don't know if they have plans to, but yeah, they really put a great effort in that. So that's my favorite Star Wars video game.
Very cool. Very cool. So, all right. So I mentioned earlier, I have a filmographic memory.
Okay.
So when people say that they have a photographic memory,
Yes.
they can look at something and remember it forever. So I tend to remember stuff more if it's featured in a film.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
Sure.
So what are some of your favorite filmographic memories or cinematic
I
memories?
highly quoted definitely Star Wars.
Yes.
Back to the Future.
Okay. Yeah.
The movie Swingers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if you guys are. I mean, we're all Jon Favreau fans now because of the Star Wars universe and Marvel.
Yeah.
But his first movie that he wrote and made is a movie called Swingers.
Swingers, right. 96 with Vince Vaughn.
Yes,
actually.
very good. Yeah, so I mean that highly quotable. That the quote, "You're so money." I don't
some money, baby.
Yeah,
You're some money and you don't even know it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I'm sure they didn't invent that term, but they definitely popularized
yes.
it.
Yeah.
For sure. But we're always, who's the big winner here? Who's the big winner? Mikey. Mikey wins. My friend Mike Zapsik, I do that to him all the time.
Yes.
He hates it. He gets all mad at me because I always do it in the most inappropriate situations. Usually when he's not winning, and he doesn't win a lot, so.
Yes.
He's kind of a big loser actually, so he doesn't win a lot.
Oh,
so,
burn.
He'll never watch this, so maybe he will. You should
Maybe.
clip that out and tag him in it. Yeah, that's a good one. Geez, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, we're constantly quoting movies.
Right, absolutely.
Constantly,
I speak fluent movie quotes. So just not a day goes by.
Goodfellas, oh, you're a funny guy, funny, funny, what, like a clown? Do I amuse you?
Amuse you?
Yeah, do I amuse you? Yeah. The scene where they're with his mom and he's like, hey, it's like, hey,
Right.
can I borrow a knife? His paw got caught in the grill. I got cut. Yeah. And then there's the painting of the guy. It looks like the guy they killed. Like, hey, that looks like someone we know. And they start laughing at it. And the guy's literally dying in the trunk.
Such dark humor.
So
that
great,
movie
man.
is
And I
really
think that
great,
whole
though.
scene was improvised. I heard too.
That's
Yeah.
very possible.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds like it could definitely have been.
Yeah, I mean
improvised.
basically any mob movie we were constantly quoting, any sci-fi movie, most comedies. So
Very cool.
film. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I think not a day goes by we don't quote some movie.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's just ingrained into who I am. So.
Yeah, and then beyond that, if you want to go to TV, The Simpsons is something we quote every day.
Yep.
Every day, not a day
Yep.
goes by where The Simpsons doesn't come up. So it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. So, one of my new filmographic memories is actually coming tonight. We're all going to see Oppenheimer.
Nice.
At the Indy Museum. Have
Nice.
you seen that yet?
I have not. No.
Okay.
I've been
All right.
so busy. I'm going to come
sure.
pretty much every weekend.
Right.
I'm
Right.
so behind, and I don't know. And sometimes when stuff comes out and people are like, "Oh man, it's awesome!" It's all like everybody and they like it. Like I won't watch it immediately.
Right.
And it's not like I'm spiting them. They saw it already. Like the only person I'm hurting is myself, really.
Yeah.
But
you know.
I don't know. Some of the super popular things I don't get to right away because like Game of Thrones. I didn't watch that for years. Like everyone was just like they were just so like, oh, this is awesome. Meanwhile, I'm sitting back laughing because like just normal people, like people in suits, and they would get together on Mondays and be like, oh man, did you Daenerys Targaryen, Mother Dragons, eggs, long swords or whatever,
Right.
and they're using all these fancy terms. I'm looking at them. I was like, you know what, Game of Thrones, I you know what that was called 30 years ago? It's called Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D,
I
baby.
played it, and you made fun of me,
Yeah.
and now you think it's cool? Like, F you.
Exactly.
F you, F off, because I knew
Exactly.
it was cool. We played what basically was Game of Thrones.
Right.
It's
Before
basically
Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is a D&D campaign.
Right. It's a massive
Yeah,
D&D
and so
campaign.
you made you shunned me for this 30
Right.
years ago. Now you think now you're talking about
Exactly.
talking about like the wall, the King of the North and all that. This is all stuff like this is not new. This is stuff that we played with
Exactly.
and we made up in our head, and now you think it's cool. Like, get out of here.
Right.
Yeah, posers.
Yeah, I know. It's just growing up, got made fun of a lot for loving. Geeky stuff,
Yeah.
Star Trek, Star Wars,
Yep.
sci-fi stuff, and
Yeah, it's
who's
great.
laughing now?
Yeah, it's great. Like these people made fun of it. Now they're coming up to me at like cocktail parties and
Right.
stuff. Like, hey, so is this canon? Like, yeah, right. they're like, so Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, like, is this, tell me about it. I'm like, oh, no.
Now you want to talk about it?
I'm like, hey.
You want to talk about it?
Go get me a drink. Come back and I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, it's great, right? So now we call the shots,
yes,
man.
exactly.
We call the shots.
Big ball, shot call.
That's right.
So I only have one more prepared question.
Okay.
Streaming
yes.
has changed the way we watch TV, movies, and consume cinema and everything. So, I mean, I have a pretty big digital collection. I have over 500 films on my iTunes,
nice.
Another 100 on DVD and Blu-ray. Do you have a preference? It's like do you like to stream? Do you like digital stuff? Do you like physical media?
I like physical media, but I don't have room for physical media. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, that is the problem I have, which is like, I like to get stuff digitally, so I don't have to store it.
Honestly, I miss like buying DVDs and then like getting the box when I got home from work and opening it and like, ooh, I have like the Criterion collection of whatever movie I just ordered, and like popping it in, and then having that whole rack. Like that's a flex, man. When you invite somebody over, like they're geeks too, they're gonna look at the collection.
Absolutely.
And if you have the more, the better. But they'll flip through it. Yep. And that's cool. I mean, streaming's definitely more convenient. Sure. And if you're taking a dump, you can watch Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon, like while you're taking a dump. And and that movie is like taking a big dump, so for sure, I mean, come on, Michael Bay ain't crying because I said that.
No, he's fine. I think he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, but I do worry though, like if an EMP hits, like all your streaming movies are gone.
Yes,
they're gone.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gone, never to be seen again. So at least you'll have your physical DVDs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do. I've gotten back into the physical media, especially the Criterion collection.
Sure. Yeah.
There's tons of great films on there for people who are trying to get into watching more cinema or just trying to expand their horizons. Something different than the popcorn, the dark of the moon type of movies.
Yeah.
So
good. Like good movies. But I was talking like I used to have a pretty good Laserdisc collection, and it took up so much room, and like I ended up giving it away to a guy who was really I mean no one would take them except one guy, and I gave them to him. And there were some days that I was like, man, I wish I had those back.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have a player anymore, but just good memories, and those are true cinephile formats.
Yes.
Which they don't really have anymore.
No.
Like what do they have left for the cinephiles? And like the Criterion Laserdiscs paved the way for the DVD special features.
That's right.
And then and that's why we have them. But ironically enough, with the streaming, we don't have commentaries anymore. No cut scenes.
Exactly.
We've lost all of that. So how do we get that back? I guess YouTube maybe. They put all that up on YouTube, but you still have to look for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know if people record commentary tracks anymore. And it's sad. Commentary tracks were awesome.
Yeah.
The first one I ever listened to was the one for Clerks. Kevin did it.
Yes.
And Kevin, Brian O'Halloran, who played Dante, and a drunk Jason Mewes.
Yes.
Like, that was so awesome. I learned so much about Clerks. And I'm like, is Jay drunk? Like, wow, he's really got a problem. And he did at the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I miss that, and we don't have that anymore. We've gone backwards.
Yeah. I think it is definitely becoming more rare that they're going all out with these bonus features and special features.
Yeah, because you can't just go to Netflix and be like, hey, I want to play this with a commentary track. Like it doesn't. They don't have that.
Any Netflix film, that's just it. That's all you have is just the film itself.
Yeah.
And there's no behind the scenes features. How do they make this? How do they?
Yeah, we need to bring that back somehow.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I did just pick up the Arrow video box set of Mallrats.
Yeah.
That Kevin Smith approved the 4K transfer. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, did they put the old commentary track on there with the little video that pops up every so often?
I don't know about the video pop-up.
Oh, man.
Because they do have the original commentary on it. They also have the extended cut, and they also have the ridiculous TV cut.
Oh, yeah, the TV cut's awesome.
The
TV cut is unlike anything that has ever been made.
It's so bad.
You heard the story about that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, there was an ABC version of Mallrats, and it's a pretty dirty movie, so they dub over a lot of the lines. And the guy they got to dub Jay. So the story was Jay was scheduled to go and re-record his lines for the TV cut, and I think he woke up and Kevin was like, "Hey, we got to go." And he was like, hey, so like, what am I getting paid for this? Like, no, nothing. It's kind of a courtesy thing. He's like, well, oh, I don't want to do it. It was either that or he was supposed to show up and he didn't. And they were like, well, we got to record. And they legit just, there was a sound engineer who sounded nothing like him. He sounded like a surfer guy.
Yes.
And and like the lines are ridiculous. Like, so instead of all it took was a fat chronic blunt, it got changed into all it took was a fat karate chop, which is nothing, doesn't even match the mouth movements.
Not even close.
And the guy sounded like Sean Penn from Fast Times at Ridgemont Heights. So I was like, hey dude, all it took was a fat karate punch. I'm like, what? It doesn't even sound like him. It's so bad that it's good.
The lines that are actually spoken by Jay that are not censored sound completely different.
Completely different.
It's
but that's all they had, so they put it in there. It's so bad that it's good though. Yeah, definitely check it out if you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ming, thank you again
Of course.
so much for taking the time with
You got
us.
it.
I really appreciate it.
You got it.
It's great to meet you.
Absolutely.
You enjoy the rest of your time.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Great questions.
Thank you.